Welcome back. Numsa and the South African Cabin Crew Association are lashing out at the Public Enterprises Department over a salary deal. The department offered staff 3 months' salary and a 13th cheque, despite them not being paid for 8 months. The unions, of course, rejecting this offer. Let's find out why. We're joined by Phakamile Hlubi-Majola from Numsa and Zazi Nsi-banyoni-Mugambi from SACCA. Thanks for your time, ladies. We appreciate it. So, Phakamile, first elaborate on us on why you're rejecting this offer.
Indeed, Shahan, we are rejecting this offer on the basis that we believe that it is patently unfair. We also believe that what the DPE is trying to achieve with this offer is actually unlawful. So just to give you a bit of background, you are correct when you say that DPE made an offer that workers at SAA would receive a payment of 3 months' salary, and this includes a 13th check, and these are monies which are owed to them. And as you know, Shahan, in October, the Minister of Finance allocated 10.5 billion rand to SAA as part of its restructuring plan. Now, one of the things that the BRPs have to do in terms of their work is to settle outstanding debts in order for the restructuring of SAA to take place. And one of the key debts is the salary bill and monies owed to workers. Workers at SAA are actually owed 8 months outstanding salaries. And what DP is trying to propose by saying that workers should only accept 3 months and they're saying they should waive the other 5 months and basically relinquish any claims on the 5 months monies outstanding to them, we say is unlawful because the BRP plan has actually made a provision for this money. There is no need for workers to relinquish this money. And we reject the lie given by DPE that the reason that workers must relinquish their 5 months' salary is to fund the restructuring of SAA. That is not true. There is money to fund restructuring of SAA. And the reason they want workers to relinquish that money is, we think, is because they are hoping to redirect whatever savings they make from this to subsidiaries. And that is not allowed in terms of the Companies Act.
So, Zazi, I spoke to the DG of the Public Enterprises Department on Wednesday, and he said ultimately they simply don't have the money, because if they gave workers more than 3 months, then it will be in the jeopardy, or it would jeopardize the airline altogether.
Shahan, firstly, I think the DG stated that they simply do not have the money. But what they are indeed doing is going against their own business rescue plan that they endorsed in the creditors' meeting. And what they are doing is they are taking money from the workers of SAA and basically trying to shift it to subsidiaries. He was on your show, Shahan, if you remember, and he stated very clearly that the rest of this money would go to the restructuring and the restart of SAA, when that is a bold-faced lie, because we know that this money is going to be directed to subsidiaries. Subsidiaries where initially we had called for them to be included in the business rescue so that, we can find a comprehensive solution for all parties. But, at the end of the day, workers in this 3-month deal, in actual fact, in rand value, would be taking home a month and 1 week of a salary, because what's going to happen is that they're going to deduct the TERS payment made and obviously the regulatory tax deductions. So in actual fact, workers will be taking home around 25,000 rand on average for having not had salaries for 8 months. So for us, we put compromises on the table, Shahan, such as, we'll take the 3 months for now and then defer the monies owed to us. And we went as far as saying we'll even take it in terms of equity. And the DPE is simply not reacting to that particular suggestion. So it's their way or the highway. And by law, we are entitled to this money. They endorsed the business rescue plan outside permissions from us. And now they can't stick to the plan that they endorsed. And that is wrong, and we're not going to accept it.
Yeah. So, Phakamile, we've got a step further here, condemning Minister Pravin Gordhan, and you say he's been dishonest in his approach and shockingly insensitive in managing this process. Just elaborate on what facts you have to show that.
He's dishonest because the department told employees that if they are not willing to sacrifice this money, this will mean that the turnaround or SAA's restructuring is in jeopardy. That's not true, because the purpose of us voting at a creditors meeting, and even them arriving at an amount of 10.5 billion, is because the money for workers has been allocated. Go and read the plan. It talks about 2 billion, which has been allocated for VSPs. So they mustn't lie. They're lying. And what they're trying to do, where they change how the business rescue plan is supposed to be implemented, is not lawful. You need, if there are going to be any modifications to the business rescue plan in terms of how that money is going to be spent, then a creditors meeting must be called. And if indeed what the DPE is doing is lawful, then why don't they just do it? Why do they need us and our help in order to do it? It's because they know very well that they are treading on very thin ice here, and they shouldn't be doing this. What DPE should have done is, as Zazi said, is include subsidiaries in the business rescue plan, which they didn't do. And these subsidiaries must be funded. And we want to stress, as Numsa and SACCA, that the subsidiaries must be funded. DPE has a responsibility to fund them because they fall under the umbrella of their responsibilities. Yeah. But what you're not allowed to do is to take from Paul to pay Peter, which is what they're doing now.
Yeah. So, of course, there's a stalemate. DPE said to me on Wednesday they don't have the money. You, of course, saying we're rejecting this offer. What's your next move, Zazi? You're going to court?
We're waiting for a response from them. Ourselves, SACCA, Numsa, and the pilot have written to say we want a formal response as to our submissions in terms of paying monies fully owed to employees. If not, absolutely, we're going to court.
Yeah. And Phakamile, just in terms of how this process has unfolded, because many people would have thought the business rescue practitioners were going to see a fair process in terms of, paying people out, restoring SAA, so to speak. Overall, what would you say this process has been like?
We're very disappointed with this process, Shahan. It's been mismanaged by the DPE, and even as we speak, we're very concerned about the future of the so-called new SAA. Because all of the things that we've been concerned about, for example, we demanded, for example, a totally new board. We demanded a new executive management. None of those things have materialized. We have an interim board that was announced last week. One of the names of on that board is Peter Chiseve, who himself is a former board member and part of precisely the crisis that brought SAA to the point where it collapsed. Even the process of appointing board members was not transparent. We woke up one morning and boom, it was in the media that a new board has been appointed. So basically all of the things that we've been concerned about are repeating themselves again. The offer that's on the table now, where workers are being asked to relinquish 5-month salaries. Against that backdrop, there's also another proposal where SAA management is saying that workers must accept changes to conditions, and if they don't accept those changes to conditions, they'll be retrenched. Yeah. So the kind of attitude that we've been dealing with when it comes to DPE is an organization that does not negotiate in bad faith, that at this point is unlawful in the behavior that it's exhibiting, and frankly has displayed complete insensitivity to the 8 months of suffering that workers have endured, instead of helping us to try and find solution to the situation.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Phakamile and Zazi. Appreciate it.